You deserve this. Well, we've made it to the National Air Museum, National Navy Air Museum in Pensacola, Florida. So we're going to head on inside and take a look at some airplanes.
Hi, Briar! We're sending you a hug!
Ready to go on a bombing run? Don't push it. That's the eject button. Yeah, I'm sure I wouldn't fit.
There's a thing here. Oh, there's trigger. There's trigger. I think there was stupid drivers with this thing.
This museum is unlike other museums that I've been in. In this museum, they actually let you get up close to the airplanes. You can touch them. Anything that's not roped off, you can touch. So here I am. I'm sitting in a cockpit. I don't know if you can see this. I don't think I'll pull the ejection strap button or whatever it is. I want to stay here in the cockpit. This particular cockpit is actually roomy enough for me to sit in. Some of the smaller jets, no, I'm not going to fit in it. I'm in the back part of this one. So sitting in the back seat is the person who operates the radar for the radar controlled missiles that they use, the Sidewinders. And it's actually plenty of room back here. This is really a cool museum. We just scratched the surface of being in here. We were in here for about 3 hours. Could easily spend more time here. I highly recommend, if you come here, that you take a tour. The tour guide is full of information. In this museum, there are a lot of one-of-a-kind aircraft. These are the actual aircraft, not reproductions. And there are some that this is the only place in the world that you'll find these aircraft, is here at this museum. It's the Pensacola, Florida Naval Air Station Museum. Definitely worth a trip down here to take a look at this, especially if you're into airplanes or just the history of our nation and the different wars that were fought with these different aircraft. It was interesting to find out why the Navy has so many airplanes versus the Air Force. But there's lots of flying boats in here too. So very interesting history, all the way from the very early days of flying in the early 1900s, where the Wright brothers refused to build them a naval airplane. They built one for the Army, but they wouldn't build a flying boat for the Navy, which is really interesting. So early 1900s all the way up to present day. Check it out. We've been spending these last couple of weeks here at Barb's family's home here in Citronelle, Alabama. We're a little south of town actually, but we're going to head into Citronelle and take some images of that. You can see the rig behind me, so we're just parking it here on the property. And then Barb's sister Fran is here along with her husband Fred. And so we're getting ready for the family reunion that's going to happen in a couple of days. And then her stepmom lives in this house right behind me, and they're all going to the family reunion a little later on. So I'll have some images of that. I don't know, it's supposed to rain. Today's a really nice day, so let's go take a look at town, see what downtown Citronelle looks like. town sure has changed since the last time I was here. We drove through old downtown and it's dead. There used to be a dollar store in there, a hardware store, used to be a Chevy dealership there, and now everything is all boarded up. And so we came down the main highway, Highway 45, and it looks like that's where the town has moved. It's more like you would expect from a small town. I mean, there's O'Reilly's Auto Parts, fast food places. We're stopping here at the Iron Skillet. Give this a try for breakfast. It's different. So the saying you can never go home again, I guess is true, because it's just, you know, it's a dying town, at least in the main part of town. Here over on the strip, it's doing better. Part of what happened while we were here is Barb's stepmom gave us a couple acres of property. So it's between Barb and her sister Fran to split, but here it is behind me. I'm going to go walk in those woods and take a look at it a little bit. So this is the family property. Her dad owned this property before he passed away, which then went to her stepmom, and then she decided to give us the property. Now when I say give us, it makes it sound like it's free, but there's no such thing as free property, just like there's no such thing as a free dog. I think the last free dog I got ended up costing me a couple $1,000s in vet bills. Well, this property's already cost me a couple $1,000s because we had to have it surveyed. Then we're going to have it subdivided, and then we're going to have to go through the whole deeding process. So a couple $1,000s is probably more than what the property is even worth. But what I'm thinking is that we'll go ahead and clear out some of this property and then build a couple RV pads in here. So during the winter months, we can come down here and have a place to stay. That's really close to our family. As a matter of fact, she has a lot of family who lives on this street. Her cousin lives right across the street. And so it's a good place for us to come visit family. And if the world goes to hell, we've always got a place to come down and stay. So I'm gonna go tromp around back here a little bit and see what this property is like. It'll probably take a lot to put a road in through here with a couple RV pads. So I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, I got 2 acres of this. Lost my selfie stick in here somewhere. Fell out of my pocket, and I don't think I'm gonna find it. Don't know exactly what path I went down, but here, I'll put the camera forward facing and you can see kind of what I'm up against. So this is it. Lots of real thin viney stuff, a few medium-sized trees, nothing real big in here, but this is what we're going to have to clear out in order to put a driveway and put in a couple RV pads. So I don't know, I'm thinking bulldozer. Well, we're supposed to be going out to dinner here in Loosedale, Mississippi, Catfish House. Been there before, but this group of people likes to go there. It's raining really hard again, lightning, and they say there's a tornado headed this direction. And so I looked at the tornado map, and sure enough, this county is under a tornado warning. However, where we're going is not under a tornado warning. So I'm trying to get people in the car and say, come on, let's go, let's get going. And they go, oh no, a tornado's coming, we have to stay. No, let's drive out of the road, let's drive away from the tornado, let's go. So I think I convinced them that we can get in the car and drive away from the tornado. So hopefully we're not going to be spinning around in a twister.
Well, you can do nothing in the car on the other side. Hey, I'm liking it. Mom's not scared, so we're good. When Mom gets scared, then we can get on.
Well, we survived the tornadoes, but the same can't be said for an RV park down the road. About a mile down the road, a tornado actually touched down there. So we saw emergency vehicles down there. Don't know what happened yet. I hope everybody's okay. We left here and headed north, which is away from the tornadoes, and all the way headed to the Catfish House. We were getting tornado warnings on our phones saying severe weather ahead, tornadoes ahead. And looking out at the clouds, I can see how they could develop into tornadoes. They're pretty black and ugly. But we drove out of them and we were safe in the Catfish House. Probably a lot safer than we would have been if we would have stayed here. One did touch down a mile from here, but at least the property here where I am is fine. The motorhome's fine. Everybody, all the family that's here is fine as well. So fortunate for that. Very weird weather we're having. It's going to be raining most of the day today. Today is the family reunion, so we will be attending the family reunion. They are postponing that until this afternoon when the rain stops, so that's a good thing. And then we're headed out in the morning, so we're going to head out and just head home. I don't know if I've already said this or not, but one of our friends was recently diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. And so we are going to head home and be there for her and call this season short. So we're not going to finish what we had planned for this season. We're just going to Walmart it all the way home and then play it by ear once we get home. I don't know if we'll pick up season 2 again, or if we're going to pick up at season 3, which is going to start in about August of 2020. In season 3, we're going to head across the northern part of the country again, but this time we're going to try to get up into the New England states and then head down the East Coast. So looking forward to that. Hopefully all goes well back home. We just have to play that one by ear.
He's doing it.
Oh, don't take mine, you'll break
All right, I'm not going to bore you with videos from the family reunion. As you can see, there's quite a lot of people here. A lot of good food too. I ate more than I should have, like always. But it's good to be here and good to have this food and actually nice weather. The rain stopped about noon and the sun has come out, so it's really kind of nice here today. So it's been a lot of fun before we head home and head back to cold, probably rainy Washington State. Because of the severe weather that's going on right now across the country, and this rig doesn't do well in ice or snow, we're going to just hit I-10 south all the way to Los Angeles and then hit I-5 going up, going from Los Angeles all the way home. That's going to be our route. We feel that's the safest route. We don't have to go over much of a pass. You know, we have to go through the Siskiyous, but that's probably going to be okay. So we're avoiding the snow by going that direction. And in the LA area in Northern California, now they're having wildfires. And so our route may have to change to avoid those. So damned if you do and damned if you don't. You know, you try to find the best route and you just have to go with it. With all the rain we've had around here, it's made the ground really soft, and I was afraid this was going to happen. Trying to get out of here and we're stuck. We can't get out. These big rigs are not meant to be driven on fields, they're meant to be driven on big highways. And so in here, I don't know what we're going to do. We've tried a car to pull us out, a truck I guess to pull us out, then we tried a four-wheel drive truck to pull us out. Now we're getting a tractor. I'm going to try to get a tractor to pull us out. If that doesn't work, I'm going to have to call it to a truck. Here's what I'm dealing with.
It is getting deep funny.
Well, we made it, Alabama. We had to get pulled out of the grass where we were. We tried, first of all, a four-wheel drive truck. That didn't work. Tried a bigger four-wheel drive truck. That didn't work. And tried even bigger four-wheel drive truck. That finally helped us get out of Alabama. We've spent the last couple of nights at Walmart's, and then here we are at a very loud and noisy Love's travel station. I've never stayed in a truck stop before, but this is where we're staying in Phoenix before we head over to California. So we're gonna see what this is like tonight, but you don't always have to stay in a Walmart. You don't always have to stay in an RV park. There are truck stops you can stay in as well. Well, we are just really moving along here. We're about 2 hours out of LA, and we stayed at this campground last night called Cherry Valley Lakes RV Park. You can see the rig behind me, then there's an empty spot, and then the next rig over. So it's a nice enough campground, but you can also probably hear the noise behind me. That's Highway I-10, and so it's very close to the freeway, which is good when we got here because we didn't want to drive very far, and we're only here for the one night. So even though it's noisy out here, I can't hear it inside the coach. This is an RPI park, so it cost me $10 for the night here. I think they have a swimming pool. I'm gonna go check it out. They do have a little clubhouse, I think. We just got in so late last night. We've just basically had time to set up and go to bed. And then we're gonna head out first thing this morning. Hope to make it to Sacramento today, depending on the fires. And so hopefully that won't reroute us out of our way. Sacramento, then on to Medford, and then we'll be home. So a quick trip home. So for 10 bucks a night, full hookups. Took a nice long hot shower. It was great. If you come here without a membership, they will definitely try to sell you one. Well, I wish I was spending more time here, but we have to get home. Looks like they have little cabins you can rent as well. Looks like a nice park. We'll have to make it back here someday. Well, we've made it back to our home location here at Ocean Shores, and looks like winter's starting. A place we didn't want to be during the winter, but of course you have to be there for your friends when they need you as well. So this isn't the end of season 2. We are going to be here for a few months as our friend goes through her cancer treatment, and then we will be heading back to Vegas for some more work on the coach in January. And so, I don't know where we'll pick season 2 back up again, but we'll have to wait. We're actually all playing this all by ear. But for now, here we are back in Washington State for the cold, wet, rainy winter. Not ideal, but it'll be all right. You may have noticed that we didn't spend a lot of time in campgrounds on our way home from Alabama. We just tried to get here as quickly as we could, just overnighters. And so we spent a lot of time in Walmart's or in truck stops. It's harder to find Walmart's in California and Oregon that really allow overnighting, and so truck stops was the way we had to go. Those truck stops can be pretty noisy at night, and we combat that by sleeping with a sound machine. So we have the sound machine, we've been sleeping with it for years. It simulates rainfall or a river, and that helps put us to sleep, but also drowns out those outside noises. So if you're thinking about doing this as a lifestyle, it might be worthwhile getting used to a sound machine to help drown out some of that outside activity that you can't control. you're not always in a nice, quiet spot. Truck stops are noisy, they're open 24 hours, trucks moving in and out. But you know what? I slept pretty good with that sound machine on. So that's a pro tip for you.
Reserve this.